Today, we are going to explore one of the most powerful principles of life, the principle of fixing yourself. We often find ourselves blaming circumstances, other people, or the world around us for our problems, struggles, and setbacks. But let me tell you this, the first place to look when life isn't working out the way you want is in the mirror. Fixing yourself is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. Personal responsibility is where it all starts. You must take full responsibility for your life. You are not a victim of your circumstances, nor are you a product of your environment. Yes, challenges will come your way, but your response to those challenges determines your future. You have the power to shape your destiny, and that power lies within you. To fix yourself, you first need to achieve self-awareness. You need to ask yourself, who am I? Where am I now? Where am I going? Knowing where you stand is the foundation of growth. If you don't understand who you are or where you want to go, it's impossible to begin the process of transformation. Next, we must talk about emotional mastery. So often our emotions control us rather than the other way around. We react to the world instead of responding with intention. To fix yourself, you must learn to control your emotions, your thoughts, and your reactions. This is the key to maintaining peace in the midst of storms. And it is through emotional mastery that you gain control over your life. Now, let's discuss a crucial element of self-repair, a mindset shift. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. If you constantly see obstacles, you'll never progress. But if you see opportunities and challenges, you will rise above every difficulty. Your thinking must evolve in order to evolve your life. But there's something deeper, clarity of purpose. If you don't know what you're meant to do or why you exist, you will drift through life caught in the current of confusion. Everything is defined by a purpose that drives you. With a clear sense of purpose, every decision becomes easier, and every obstacle becomes surmountable. Now, let's talk about the importance of breaking negative patterns. We all have habits, thoughts, and behaviors that limit our growth. These patterns, if left unchecked, keep us stuck in cycles of mediocrity and failure. You must be willing to challenge your old ways, break free from toxic environments, and step into a new mindset of possibility. It is also essential to heal from the past. Too many of us carry unresolved wounds that weigh us down. We cannot move forward if we are still anchored to the pain of our past. Healing is not a choice. It is a requirement. Let go of old hurts. Forgive those who have wronged you and release any guilt or shame you may be carrying. Only then can you truly start to fix yourself. But remember, fixing yourself is a lifelong process. It's about continuous growth. Personal development isn't a destination, it's a journey. Every day, take small steps to better yourself. Never stop learning, evolving, and improving. Faith is also key. You must have faith in yourself. Believe in your ability to rise above any challenge. Even when others doubt you, you must have an unwavering belief in your own potential. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? I want to leave you with this. Commit to action. Fixing yourself is not just about knowing what needs to be done. It's about doing it. Every day, take intentional steps toward your goals. Break old habits, build new ones, and keep moving forward. So today, I challenge you to fix yourself. Take responsibility. Master your emotions. Shift your mindset. Find your purpose, break free from old patterns, heal from your past, commit to continuous growth, believe in your potential, and act on your dreams. Your future is in your hands, and it starts with you. Fix yourself. The world is waiting for the best version of you. Personal responsibility is the cornerstone of any meaningful change in your life. It's the understanding that you are the creator of your own experiences and that you have the power to determine the course of your life. Far too often, people look outwardly for reasons why things are not working out. They blame circumstances, other people, or even the world itself for their struggles. But the truth is, the most significant change begins when we look inward. Taking personal responsibility means acknowledging that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you absolutely control how you respond to what happens. Life is full of challenges, and none of us are exempt from them. However, your response to those challenges determines your growth and the direction in which you move. When you take full responsibility for your actions, choices, and reactions, you reclaim your power and stop being a passive participant in your own life. It's easy to fall into the trap of making excuses, blaming others, or giving up when things don't go as planned. But once you accept responsibility for your life, you also take control of your power to make changes. It's about owning your decisions, both the good and the bad, and understanding that you have the ability to shape your future by learning from every experience, even when things don't go the way you want. There's always a lesson to be learned. Taking personal responsibility is about finding those lessons, growing from them, and using them to fuel your next move forward. When you take responsibility, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You take ownership of your journey, your dreams, and your actions. This mindset shift is liberating because it allows you to realize that the life you lead is not dependent on someone else or on random events, but on the decisions you make each day. Every choice you make moves you closer to or further from the life you desire. And by owning those choices, you empower yourself to create the future you want. In taking responsibility, you also begin to see the interconnectedness of your thoughts, actions, and outcomes. You begin to understand that your life is a reflection of what you think and believe about yourself. If you believe you're incapable or undeserving, your life will reflect that. If you believe you are capable of overcoming obstacles, of growing, and of making progress, your life will reflect that too. It all starts with you. To truly embrace personal responsibilities, to stop blaming and start changing. It's about recognizing that while we can't control everything, we can control how we approach the challenges life throws at us. When you do this, you free yourself from the cycle of helplessness and put yourself on the path to empowerment and growth. Personal responsibility is the key to unlocking your full potential, because it is only when you take full responsibility for your life that you begin to realize that you have the ability to fix what needs to be fixed and to create the life you want to live. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and transformation. It's the ability to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and the underlying motivations that drive them. Without self-awareness, you are like a ship sailing through a storm with no compass or map to guide you. You may move forward, but you won't have a clear understanding of where you're heading, or if you're even moving in the right direction. Being self-aware means being in tune with who you truly are, not who you think you should be or who others expect you to be. It's about honestly assessing your strengths, weaknesses, and blind spots. It's recognizing your emotional responses and understanding why you react the way you do in different situations. This awareness enables you to see patterns in your behavior that may have previously gone unnoticed and allows you to take the necessary steps to change or refine those patterns for growth. To be truly self-aware, you must be willing to be vulnerable with yourself. It's not enough to simply acknowledge surface level traits. You have to be willing to dig deeper, to explore the roots of your fears, insecurities, and desires. You must ask yourself hard questions and be open to confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself. This deep reflection is crucial because only when you understand your true self can you make intentional decisions that align with your values, goals, and purpose. Self-awareness also involves understanding how you relate to others and the world around you. It's about recognizing how your actions impact those around you and becoming mindful of the energy and presence you bring into any situation. When you are self-awareness, you don't just react impulsively to what others do or say. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, knowing that your actions and words carry weight. Being self-aware is also a key component of emotional intelligence. It allows you to manage your emotions in a way that enhances your life rather than letting them control you. When you are self-aware, you can pause before reacting emotionally, allowing you to choose your response rather than being driven by impulse. You begin to understand the triggers that lead to negative emotions and can take steps to prevent them or deal with them in a healthier way. This kind of awareness is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of introspection, growth, and refinement. It requires consistent self-reflection and a willingness to look at your life honestly without judgment. By developing self-awareness, you become the master of your life rather than a passive observer. You gain clarity about who you are, where you are in life, and where you want to go. This clarity empowers you to make decisions that serve your best interest and to navigate life with purpose and direction. When you are self-awareness, you understand your strengths and weaknesses, which helps you make better choices. You're able to identify the areas of your life that need attention and focus, and you become equipped to make the changes necessary for improvement. More importantly, self-awareness fosters a deeper understanding of others. It allows you to empathize with their struggles and appreciate their perspectives, which strengthens relationships and creates more harmonious interactions. Self-awareness is the key to unlocking your potential. It enables you to break free from limiting beliefs and patterns, to understand your deeper needs and desires, and to live in alignment with your true self. It's a powerful tool for personal transformation, because only when you understand yourself can you truly begin to grow into the person you are meant to be. Emotional mastery is the ability to recognize, understand, and control your emotions in a way that empowers you to make decisions that align with your goals and values rather than being driven by impulsive reactions. Our emotions can often feel like an uncontrollable force, but the truth is, they don't have to dictate the course of our lives. Mastering your emotions isn't about suppressing or ignoring them. It's about understanding them deeply and learning how to respond to them in a way that enhances your life rather than hinders it. The first step toward emotional mastery is becoming aware of your emotions as they arise. Too often, we react to situations without fully understanding the emotional trigger behind our response. Whether it's anger, fear, sadness, or frustration, these emotions can take over if we're not careful. The key is to pause, take a step back, and acknowledge what you are feeling. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and why am I feeling this way? This simple practice of awareness can be transformative because it gives you the space to choose your response rather than simply reacting in the heat of the moment. Once you recognize your emotions, the next step is to understand their underlying causes. Often, our emotions are signals that point to deeper needs or unresolved issues. For example, if you feel angry, it might be a sign that you feel disrespected or unheard. If you feel anxious, It could be pointing to a fear of the unknown or a lack of control in a situation. By understanding what is at the root of your emotions, you can address the underlying issue rather than just dealing with the surface level emotion. This process of emotional exploration can be incredibly enlightening as it helps you identify patterns in your emotional responses and the situations that trigger them. Emotional mastery also involves learning to regulate your emotions in a healthy and constructive way. It's not about eliminating negative emotions, but about handling them in a way that allows you to remain calm and centered, even in challenging situations. When you master your emotions, you don't allow them to control your actions. Instead, you take a step back, breathe, and make a conscious decision about how you want to respond. This ability to control your emotional reactions is powerful because it allows you to approach life's challenges with clarity, wisdom, and composure. One of the most important aspects of emotional mastery is emotional resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, disappointments, and difficult emotions. Life will inevitably throw curveballs your way, and it's natural to feel discouraged or overwhelmed at times. However, with emotional mastery, you develop the strength to process those emotions, learn from them, and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity without allowing it to define you or derail your progress. It's the understanding that emotions, even the difficult ones, are temporary, and that you have the capacity to move through them and come out stronger on the other side. An essential part of emotional mastery is cultivating emotional intelligence, which involves not only recognizing and managing your own emotions, but also understanding and empathizing with the emotions of others. When you develop emotional intelligence, you can navigate social interactions more effectively, communicate with empathy, and build stronger relationships. This skill is especially important in both personal and professional settings, where understanding the emotions of those around you can lead to more harmonious and productive interactions. In addition, emotional mastery is deeply connected to self-discipline. It's about setting boundaries and not allowing your emotions to dictate your actions, especially when those emotions could lead you down a negative path. For example, when you're angry or frustrated, emotional mastery means choosing to respond in a way that aligns with your values, whether that's taking a moment to cool off, expressing your feelings constructively, or choosing forgiveness. Emotional mastery isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about making choices that align with your highest good, even when your emotions might be pushing you in a different direction. Over time, emotional mastery enables you to approach life with a greater sense of peace and stability. You stop being swept away by every emotional high or low. Instead, you learn to respond with intention, grounded in the knowledge that you are in control of your emotional state. As you continue to refine this skill, you will find that you can handle stress, disappointment, and conflict with much more grace and ease. You'll also begin to experience more joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment because you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions, but rather in charge of them. Emotional mastery is about empowerment. It is about reclaiming control over the one thing you can always control, your emotions. When you master your emotions, you master your life. You stop being at the mercy of external circumstances and learn to navigate life with confidence, clarity, and emotional strength. It's not an easy journey, but it's one of the most powerful steps you can take in transforming your life and stepping into the fullest version of yourself. A mindset shift is one of the most profound changes you can make in your life, as it directly influences how you perceive and react to the world around you. Your mindset is the lens through which you view everything, your challenges, your potential, your goals, and even the people around you. The way you think shapes the way you live. And when you make the decision to shift your mindset, you begin to unlock possibilities that were once hidden or out of reach. At the core of a mindset shift is the ability to move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that abilities, intelligence, and talent are static and cannot be changed. It operates from the belief that you are either good at something or you're not. And any failure is seen as a reflection of your limitations. This mindset leads to stagnation because it discourages learning from mistakes and taking on new challenges. On the other hand, a growth mindset embraces the idea that intelligence and abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. With a growth mindset, failure is not a defeat, but an opportunity for growth. It becomes a stepping stone in the process of learning and improving. This shift in thinking allows you to approach challenges with curiosity, resilience, and optimism because you know that through effort and persistence, you can overcome obstacles and develop new skills. A mindset shift also involves changing the way you perceive adversity. Instead of seeing struggles as something to avoid or something that defines you, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Life is full of obstacles. But with the right mindset, these obstacles can become the very things that shape and refine you. When you approach challenges with a positive problem-solving attitude, you build resilience and character. You learn how to handle discomfort and uncertainty, which are inevitable parts of growth. Shifting your mindset also involves transforming the way you talk to yourself. The language you use in your own mind has a profound impact on your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that success is reserved for others, or that you'll never achieve your dreams, then you're conditioning your mind to believe these things. Your self-talk shapes your self-image, which in turn shapes your actions. But by shifting the way you think about yourself and your potential, you can begin to transform your reality. Start replacing limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. By reprogramming your internal dialogue, you create a more supportive and constructive mindset that propels you forward. Another key component of a mindset shift is embracing the power of choice. In any situation, you always have the power to choose your perspective. You may not have control over the events that occur, but you do have control over how you respond. This realization is liberating because it means that no matter what life throws at you, you have the power to decide how you will face it. By adopting a mindset that focuses on what you can control, your actions, your responses, your attitude, you begin to feel empowered in every situation. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you realize that you are the creator of your own experience. A shift in mindset also requires letting go of the need for perfection. Perfectionism often holds people back from taking risks or pursuing their goals because they are paralyzed by the fear of not getting things just right. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. There is no such thing as a flawless path to success. What matters is progress, not perfection. A mindset that values progress embraces the idea that mistakes are part of the learning process and that taking imperfect action is better than taking no action at all. By shifting your mindset to focus on growth and progress, you free yourself from the fear of failure and open yourself up to new opportunities. The power of a mindset shift also extends to how you view the world and others. If you approach the world with a fixed, limiting mindset, you may see competition, scarcity, and division. But when you shift to a growth mindset, you start to see abundance, collaboration, and opportunities for mutual success. This shift opens doors to new relationships, partnerships, and creative solutions. Instead of seeing others as threats or obstacles, you begin to see them as allies who can help you grow and succeed. Shifting your mindset is about moving from a place of limitation to a place of possibility. It's about opening yourself up to the idea that you can achieve whatever you set your mind to if you're willing to put in the effort and learn from every experience along the way. It's about realizing that your thoughts have power and that by changing the way you think, you can change the trajectory of your life. A mindset shift also involves deepening your understanding of your own potential. It requires moving away from the belief that your current circumstances define who you are and embracing the reality that you are constantly evolving. Your past does not have to dictate your future. By shifting your mindset, you can break free from the constraints of past experiences, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs, and step into a future filled with new possibilities. This shift empowers you to live a life that is intentional, purposeful, and full of potential, because you understand that everything begins with the way you think. Clarity of purpose is the guiding force that gives direction and meaning to your life. Without a clear sense of purpose, it's easy to drift aimlessly, reacting to circumstances rather than living with intention. Purpose provides the foundation for every decision you make, every action you take, and every goal you set. When you have clarity of purpose, you align your life with your deepest values, aspirations, and dreams, creating a sense of fulfillment and motivation that propels you forward, even in the face of adversity. Having clarity of purpose means understanding what truly matters to you and what you want to achieve in life. It's about identifying the reasons behind your actions, not just the outcomes. It's not enough to simply have goals. You need to know why those goals matter. Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to make a difference? Why do you wake up every day? When your purpose is clear, your motivations are grounded in something deeper than external validation or temporary rewards. It's driven by your own intrinsic desires, your values, and your vision for your life. When you lack clarity of purpose, you may feel lost or disconnected from your true self. You might find yourself chasing after things that don't bring you real satisfaction, or pursuing goals that don't align with who you are. You might feel like you're constantly busy but not really moving forward in a meaningful way. However, when you have clarity of purpose, everything changes. You begin to make choices that reflect your values and your long-term vision, and you start to move in a direction that feels right for you. Each step feels more intentional, more aligned with who you are and where you want to go. Clarity of purpose gives you the strength to stay focused and committed even when faced with setbacks or obstacles. Life is filled with challenges, and it's easy to become discouraged or distracted. But when your purpose is clear, you have a sense of resilience that allows you to persevere. You know that your efforts are not in vain because you're working towards something that truly matters. This deeper sense of meaning keeps you anchored and helps you maintain a positive attitude, even in tough times. In addition to providing direction, clarity of purpose also brings peace. When you're clear about what you want and why you want it, you stop second-guessing yourself. You no longer waste time and energy on things that aren't aligned with your purpose. Your decisions become more decisive because you have a clear standard to measure them against. Every choice, big or small, is guided by your purpose, and this creates a sense of ease and confidence in the decisions you make. Clarity of purpose fosters a sense of fulfillment that external achievements and material possessions can provide. While success and wealth are often seen as markers of achievement, true fulfillment comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your values and passions. When your purpose is clear, you find joy in the process, not just in the end result. You start to recognize that the journey itself is meaningful and that every small victory, every lesson learned is part of a larger picture. A clear sense of purpose also connects you to something greater than yourself. Whether your purpose is centered around personal growth, service to others, or contributing to a cause greater than your own individual needs, it expands your sense of what's possible. It pushes you to think beyond your own limitations and inspires you to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. When you know your purpose, you tap into a greater source of motivation that fuels you to keep going even when the road gets difficult. Clarity of purpose doesn't just help you in moments of difficulty, it also empowers you to seize opportunities. When you are clear about what you want and where you're headed, you recognize opportunities that align with your purpose more easily. Instead of getting distracted by shiny objects or paths that lead nowhere, you have the discernment to focus on what truly matters. Your purpose acts as a filter for decision making, guiding you toward opportunities that bring you closer to your goals and away from distractions that could lead you off course. Discovering clarity of purpose often involves deep self-reflection and introspection. It requires asking yourself tough questions about who you are, what you value, and what you hope to accomplish in your lifetime. It involves exploring your passions, your talents, your strengths, and your weaknesses. Clarity of purpose comes when you align these elements with your deepest desires and values. It's a process of unearthing what lies within you and finding the courage to step into it. It's also important to note that your purpose may evolve over time. As you grow and learn more about yourself and the world, your sense of purpose may shift or expand. This is completely natural and part of the journey. The key is to remain open to these changes, embracing them with the understanding that your purpose is always guiding you toward greater growth and fulfillment. No matter where you are on your journey, clarity of purpose can always serve as a compass, helping you navigate through the complexities of life with confidence and clarity. When you operate with clarity of purpose, you live with intention, and your actions reflect a deeper connection to what truly matters. Life becomes more than just a series of tasks or obligations. It becomes a meaningful journey toward fulfilling your highest potential and contributing to the world around you. And as you pursue your purpose, not only do you find personal fulfillment, but you also inspire others to find their own purpose and live with intention. This is the power of clarity. It illuminates the path ahead and empowers you to walk it with confidence, joy, and a deep sense of meaning. Breaking negative patterns is one of the most liberating and transformative steps you can take in your life. Negative patterns are the habitual ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving that hold you back from living the life you desire. They are the unconscious cycles of self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, and unhealthy behaviors that you've developed over time, often in response to past experiences or fears. These patterns can show up in many areas of your life, in your relationships, in your work, in the way you view yourself, and in your ability to pursue your dreams. Breaking these patterns requires self-awareness, a willingness to change, and a deep commitment to personal growth. The first step in breaking negative patterns is recognizing them. Many of these patterns are so ingrained that they become automatic responses to certain situations. You may not even be aware of the negative cycle you're in until you take a step back and reflect on the results you're getting. For example, you might find that you repeatedly sabotage your efforts to succeed, whether by procrastinating, avoiding difficult conversations, or doubting your abilities. Or perhaps you notice that certain emotional triggers cause you to react in ways that don't serve you, like getting defensive in relationships, or shutting down in stressful situations. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward changing them, as it allows you to bring unconscious patterns into conscious awareness. Once you identify the negative patterns, the next step is to dig deeper and understand the root causes. Why do you keep repeating these behaviors? Often, these patterns are the result of deep-seated beliefs or emotional wounds from the past. Maybe you grew up in an environment where failure was punished, and as a result, you developed a fear of failure that causes you to procrastinate or avoid challenges. Or perhaps past hurts and disappointments have led you to believe that you're not worthy of love or success, causing you to push people away or settle for less than you deserve. By understanding the origin of these patterns, you can begin to unravel the beliefs and fears that keep you trapped in them. Breaking negative patterns requires you to reframe your thinking and challenge the beliefs that underpin these behaviors. If you have a negative pattern of self-doubt, for example, you must begin to question the validity of those doubts. Where did they come from? Are they based on truth? Or are they a product of past experiences that no longer serve you? Reframing is about replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Instead of believing I'm not good enough, you can choose to believe I am capable and I am worthy of success. This shift in mindset begins to break down the mental barriers that have kept you in a cycle of negativity. The next crucial step in breaking negative patterns is developing new positive habits to replace the old ones. This requires consistent effort and discipline. But the good news is that over time, these new habits will become just as automatic as the negative ones once were. For example, if you've developed a pattern of procrastinating when faced with difficult tasks, you can replace that behavior with one that encourages action, such as breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps and tackling them one at a time. If you have a pattern of avoiding conflict in relationships, you can replace that with a habit of open and honest communication. The key is to be patient with yourself as you cultivate these new habits, and to stay committed to the process, even when it feels uncomfortable at first. Another important part of breaking negative patterns is learning how to respond differently to triggers. Triggers are situations, people, or emotions that set off the negative pattern, often causing an automatic reaction. For instance, if you have a pattern of shutting down when faced with criticism, learning to respond differently involves taking a moment to pause before reacting. Instead of retreating or getting defensive, you might choose to listen calmly, reflect on the feedback, and respond with an open mind. The more you practice responding differently to triggers, the more you rewire your brain to break the automatic reactions that have held you back. Support from others can play a crucial role in breaking negative patterns. It's often difficult to break free from old habits on your own, especially when you've been living with them for a long time. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can provide the guidance, encouragement, and accountability you need to stay on track. Sometimes just knowing that someone is there to support you can make all the difference in maintaining the momentum necessary for change. Furthermore, seeking guidance from those who have successfully broken their own negative patterns can offer valuable insights and inspiration. Breaking negative patterns also requires self-compassion. It's easy to become frustrated or discouraged when you slip up or fall back into old habits. However, beating yourself up only reinforces the negative patterns. Instead, practice self-compassion by recognizing that change takes time and that mistakes are part of the learning process. Treat yourself with the same kindness and patience that you would offer a friend who is going through a similar struggle. By being compassionate with yourself, you create an environment where growth and change can flourish. As you begin to break free from negative patterns, you will start to experience the positive changes in your life. Your relationships will become healthier as you replace old communication patterns with more open and honest interactions. Your confidence will grow as you consistently choose actions that align with your goals and values. Your sense of empowerment will increase as you realize that you have the ability to change your behavior and shape your life. Over time, the negative patterns that once controlled you will be replaced by healthier, more constructive habits that serve your highest good. Breaking negative patterns is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking small, consistent steps toward becoming the best version of yourself. Each time you break a negative cycle, you grow stronger and more resilient. And as you continue this journey, you'll find that not only are you freeing yourself from the limitations of your past, but you're also creating a future that is more aligned with who you truly are and what you want to become. Healing from the past is an essential part of personal growth and transformation. Often we carry the weight of past experiences, whether they are memories of loss, hurt, regret, or trauma, into our present lives. And they affect the way we see ourselves, others, and the world. These unresolved emotions, beliefs, and wounds can create barriers that limit our potential, keeping us stuck in cycles of pain, fear, or self-doubt. Healing isn't about erasing the past, but about making peace with it, learning from it, and finding a way to move forward without allowing it to define who we are today. The process of healing begins with acknowledging the past and allowing yourself to feel the emotions connected to it. Too often, people try to suppress or deny painful feelings, thinking that ignoring them will make them go away. But unresolved emotions don't disappear. They fester and manifest in unhealthy ways, such as anxiety, depression, or destructive behaviors. Healing requires you to confront your emotions, to sit with them, and to honor the pain without judgment. It means giving yourself permission to grieve, to be angry, to feel sad, and to process those emotions in a safe and supportive environment. When you start to face the emotions tied to your past, it's crucial to reflect on the lessons those experiences can teach you. Every painful moment, every hardship, and every failure contains a lesson that can help you grow. The key is to shift your perspective. To see these experiences not as permanent markers of your identity, but as chapters in your story that has shaped who you are today. This doesn't mean you should romanticize the past or dismiss the hurt you've experienced. Rather, it's about recognizing that you have the power to reinterpret your past in a way that empowers you to move forward. Healing also involves letting go of the need for closure or justice from external sources. Often, people carry the weight of the past because they are waiting for someone else to apologize, acknowledge their wrongs, or make amends. While these things can be important, they are not always within your control. Waiting for closure from someone who may never offer it can keep you tethered to your pain, preventing you from truly moving on. Healing comes when you release the need for external validation and take responsibility for your own healing. It's about giving yourself permission to let go of resentment, anger, and bitterness, even if the other person never takes accountability. A significant part of healing from the past is forgiving, not for the sake of the person who hurt you, but for your own peace of mind. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs done to you, but about freeing yourself from the grip of those wrongs. Holding onto anger, resentment, or hatred only continues to harm you, not the person who hurt you. When you forgive, you release the emotional burden that keeps you tied to the past, allowing you to regain your power and sense of freedom. Forgiveness may be a long and difficult process, but it's a powerful step toward healing and personal empowerment. Another essential aspect of healing is rewriting the story you've been telling yourself about the past. Many people carry around narratives of victimhood, shame, or regret, replaying old stories in their minds that keep them stuck in the past. To heal, you must challenge these stories and create new narratives, ones that focus on resilience, growth, and self-compassion. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by how you choose to respond to it. By changing the way you view your past, you take away its power over you and reframe it as part of your personal journey toward becoming who you are meant to be. Healing requires the courage to move forward despite the fear of repeating past mistakes or facing new challenges. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the past will inevitably repeat itself, but this is not the case. You are not the same person you were when the hurt or trauma occurred. You have grown, learned, and evolved. While there may be echoes of the past that resurface from time to time, healing gives you the strength to face those moments with wisdom and resilience. It's about trusting that you have the tools and the inner strength to overcome whatever life presents. Another critical aspect of healing is self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves accountable for things beyond our control or blaming ourselves for past mistakes. But healing can't happen if you're constantly berating yourself. You must learn to treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer a friend who is going through a difficult time. Self-compassion allows you to embrace your imperfections and your humanity, recognizing that everyone goes through pain and makes mistakes. By practicing self-compassion, you create a space for healing to take place and for self-acceptance to blossom. Healing from the past is also about creating new experiences that promote growth and happiness. As you release the emotional weight of your past, you make room for new possibilities and opportunities. It's about choosing to step into the present moment with hope, curiosity, and openness. Whether it's forming new relationships, pursuing passions that bring you joy, or setting new goals, healing allows you to live fully in the now without the constant pull of past wounds. By embracing the present and building a future aligned with your values and desires, you take control of your life and create a sense of fulfillment that wasn't possible while you were still carrying the weight of the past. Healing is a lifelong journey, not a destination. It doesn't happen overnight, and there may be setbacks along the way. However, each step you take toward healing brings you closer to a deeper sense of peace, wholeness, and self-awareness. As you continue to heal, you'll find that you become more resilient, more compassionate, and more connected to your true self. You'll learn that the past, while important, does not have to dictate your future. Instead, you have the power to shape your life no matter what has happened before. And through this process, you create space for a more authentic and empowered version of yourself to emerge. Continuous growth is an ongoing, dynamic process that involves striving to improve and evolve in every aspect of your life. It's the commitment to becoming better, not just in terms of skills or achievements, but in how you think, how you interact with others, and how you engage with the world around you. It's the recognition that personal development is not a one-time event, but a journey that requires consistent effort, introspection, and openness to change. The idea of continuous growth is rooted in the belief that no matter where you are in life, there is always room to expand your knowledge, refine your character, and enhance your abilities. At the core of continuous growth is the mindset of lifelong learning. Every experience, whether positive or negative, has something valuable to teach you. When you embrace the idea that learning doesn't stop after school or after achieving a particular goal, you open yourself up to a world of opportunities. This mindset encourages you to constantly seek new knowledge, challenge your assumptions, and push the boundaries of what you thought was possible. Whether you're learning from a book, a mentor, or a difficult situation, you are always in the process of expanding your understanding of yourself and the world. Personal growth is not a linear path. There will be times when progress feels slow, or when you encounter setbacks that make you question whether growth is even happening. However, growth often comes in waves, and sometimes the most significant transformations happen during periods of struggle. It's in those moments of difficulty that you are forced to reflect on your choices, your habits, and your mindset. These periods of challenge can be some of the most profound times for growth, as they push you to adapt, to rethink your strategies, and to build resilience. Through this process, you begin to understand that growth is not just about moving forward, but also about becoming stronger and more capable in handling the ups and downs of life. Continuous growth also means being open to feedback and criticism. In order to grow, you must be willing to examine yourself honestly and without defensiveness. The feedback you receive from others, whether it's constructive criticism or praise, can serve as a mirror reflecting areas where you may need to improve. However, growth is not about seeking validation from others, but using feedback as a tool for self-awareness. When you can listen to feedback with humility and without taking it personally, you allow yourself the opportunity to see yourself from a different perspective and make necessary changes. Growth involves letting go of the ego and being open to the fact that there's always something to learn. A critical aspect of continuous growth is self-discipline. It's easy to get excited about personal development when you're inspired or motivated, but true growth happens when you continue working toward your goals, even when motivation wanes. This requires the ability to stay focused and committed to the process, regardless of the challenges or distractions that come your way. Self-discipline helps you develop habits that support your growth and align your actions with your values. Whether it's waking up early to work on a skill, pushing through a difficult task, or maintaining healthy habits, self-discipline is the backbone of growth, ensuring that you continue making progress even when it's hard. Another key component of continuous growth is embracing failure and mistakes. Society often views failure as something to avoid at all costs. But true growth comes from the lessons you learn in the face of failure. Every time you fall short, you have the opportunity to reflect on what went wrong, what could be improved, and how you can adapt going forward. Rather than viewing failure as a setback, you can see it as a stepping stone towards success. Growth involves cultivating resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. The more you embrace failure as part of the learning process, the more you allow yourself the space to take risks, try new things, and ultimately grow beyond your comfort zone. Growth also requires a deep level of self-awareness. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Continuous growth involves regularly taking the time to assess where you are, who you are, and where you want to go. This self-reflection helps you identify areas of strength as well as areas that need improvement. It also gives you insight into your own motivations, fears, and desires. Self-awareness allows you to align your actions with your deeper values and ensures that the growth you're pursuing is authentic and true to your purpose. Without self-awareness, growth becomes aimless, and you might find yourself working toward goals that don't truly resonate with your inner self. In addition, continuous growth is deeply interconnected with personal responsibility. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires active participation in your own development. You must take ownership of your decisions, your actions, and your growth. No one else can do the work for you. The responsibility for your growth lies within you. And with that comes the power to change your circumstances. By taking responsibility for where you are and where you're going, you become an active participant in your own journey. This sense of agency empowers you to make choices that align with your growth and ensure that you're consistently moving toward becoming the person you want to be. Another important aspect of continuous growth is creating a supportive environment that fosters development. While personal growth is an individual pursuit, it is also greatly influenced by the people you surround yourself with. The relationships you have, the communities you engage with, and the mentors you seek can all have a profound impact on your growth. By surrounding yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and support you, you create an environment that encourages progress. Growth thrives when you are in a space where ideas flow freely. Encouragement is abundant, and challenges are met with a mindset of collective support. Continuous growth is not just about achieving external success or ticking off accomplishments. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, constantly evolving, adapting, and expanding. It's about cultivating a mindset that seeks improvement in all areas of life, from your relationships and career to your personal health and well-being. As you grow, you'll find that the process itself becomes just as fulfilling as the results, and that every step you take forward brings you closer to a deeper understanding of who you are and who you are capable of becoming. Growth is an ongoing journey, one that never truly ends, as long as you continue to embrace the possibilities of who you can be. Faith and belief in yourself are two of the most powerful forces you can harness on your journey to achieving your goals and living your most authentic life. These internal qualities provide the foundation for overcoming obstacles, taking risks, and pursuing your passions. Without faith in yourself, it's easy to become overwhelmed by doubts, fears, and the challenges that life inevitably throws your way. On the other hand, when you cultivate a strong belief in your abilities and trust in your potential, you unlock the strength and resilience necessary to keep going, no matter what. Belief in yourself starts with understanding and accepting who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your potential, and your limitations. It means acknowledging that you are enough, just as you are, and that you have the ability to grow and evolve. Too often, people wait for external validation before they feel worthy of success or happiness. But true belief comes from within. When you trust in yourself, you stop seeking approval from others and begin to rely on your own inner compass to guide your decisions. Faith in yourself is more than just positive thinking or self-affirmations. It's a deep-seated trust that you have the capacity to handle whatever comes your way. It's the quiet knowing that even in the face of adversity, you are capable of finding solutions, adapting, and rising above. This faith isn't about being perfect or avoiding mistakes. It's about knowing that setbacks and challenges are a natural part of growth. With faith, you can view obstacles not as insurmountable problems, but as opportunities to learn, adjust, and keep moving forward.